here it is, the twisted headband. Flip it right inside out, and you have the seam that's covered up. I got my tails that I need to weave in. Flip it right side out. There's a great twist. It's squishy and stretchy. Set that aside. Pull out your needles. I like to use the circular needle so you don't lose the other needle, but you can use the straight needles if you'd like. So you pull out your yarn and you get a long enough tail. We're going to do a long tail cast on, and we're going to cast on 20 stitches. Do a slip knot, and if you don't know how to do a long tail cast on, you can look at my previous video where I show you how to do a long tail cast on. We will have this tail, and we just set it to the side. We'll use it to sew the seam together, and then you'll weave it into your work. Double check your stitches because sometimes they can be off and it'll mess it up. Now we're going to start with a rib stitch, which is a knit one, purl one. We start with the knit. It's basic knitting. So knit one, you're going to throw it in the front and purl one. Purlwise, you go through the front of the stitch. Knitwise, you throw the yarn to the back and you come in the back of the stitch and knit it and go off to your needle. We're going to purl one again, and then we're going to knit one, purl one, all the way down to the end of that first row. And this is a pattern that we're going to keep throughout the whole project. So you can kind of see the stitches here. You can see the knit, how it looks different. You'll see it more as you get more rows, how obvious the knit stitches. And then we're going to bring it to the front and do a purl. And keep going all the way down with that. One, purl one. Oops. And then when we get here to the end, you're just going to turn your work. So that's the back side, yeah. You're going to turn your work. And start on the side with your working yarn. And when we start this knit, to keep a clean edge, we're just going to slip that first stitch. You just slip it off, you don't knit it. But it is considered our knit one. And so you bring the yarn forward and do a purl one. And you just follow that same pattern. We're going to knit one, you can tell, and then you can see the purl, knit, and there's multiple ways to throw your yarn. I can try this way, got a little sticky. Okay, so we finished that row. So that was row 2, and now you can see the knit stitches. Knit, knit, knit. That's a purl. Knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. And then we're going to be on row 3. You slip that first stitch to get a clean edge, purl, and all the way down, knit, purl, till you end the row. And I am halfway, a little over halfway there. You want to knit, purl all the way till you reach 19 inches. And I was at 10. And at 10. Okay, now I've reached 19 inches. And this is your cast off. We're going to be casting off. So we're going to try to keep in the same pattern. You slip that first stitch and you purl the next one. And then you take that knit stitch and pull it over the purl stitch, and now you have one stitch. So you're casting off the stitches. I'm going to stick with the pattern here. I'm going to purl, because we just knit. And you throw the yarn in the back, because you'll knit, and then take that first stitch and pass it over the second stitch. And you just keep going with the same pattern, knit, purl, all the way to the end, and passing over that first stitch. Okay, now you come to the last 2 stitches, and you'll still pass over that first stitch, but you'll keep that, pull that loop, that last stitch, and you're done with your needles. And then you're going to take your working yarn, and you're going to cut, a good size, maybe 6-inch tail. 4 to 6 inch tail. Cut it, and then you pull it through that loop, that last stitch. You just pull it right through, nice and tight. Oh, and get your tapestry needle. Thread the one side of the yarn tail through the tapestry needle. Take that folded side and fold the other side. And you're going to slide them into each other. And then you have this little shape. You take your tapestry needle and you sew all those edges together. And you're just going to go back and forth. Trying to pick up the cast off and cast on edges. Just weave it back and forth. Then you're going to take the needle off and thread it with the other tail so that we can make this seam nice and secure, and just weave that one in and out as well. Yeah, so you want to weave both sides in through the knit stitches. And then just cut them off. And now you have your seam. And you turn it right side out.